everyone, my name is Quinn Papagni, and for my mastery lesson tool, I chose to use Nearpod. So Nearpod is interactive lessons for grades K-12 or higher education, and it's lessons that you can make on your own, or they also offer already made lessons. So for data collection during live lessons, you can see on this picture that it will pop up students' grades during the lesson, and if there's a written portion, it'll also show what they wrote out. There's student-paced or teacher-guided lessons. So student-paced is when students are clicking through the lesson on their own, and teacher-guided is when teachers are clicking through the lesson on the main screen and it's following along on the students' devices. There's interactive games like Match the Pair, so it's matching vocab to the term. Then there's Time to Climb, which is a bunch of questions, and then the student just has to answer them in a certain time to climb up. And then there's Draw It, which is drawing out the vocab term. For features of Nearpod, there are student and teacher preview. So as you can see in this picture, on the left, it's the teacher's screen, and then on the right, it's the student's screen. So you could see that before actually doing the lesson. There's homework assignments, so you can add the link to your Google Classroom. You can edit pre-made lessons by just making a copy of it, and then it'll offer you to edit it if you want to add material or delete it. There's AI-made questions for games or polls, so you just type in what lesson you want to teach and for what grade, and it'll come up with questions. And you can also import your documents already into the presentation. For classroom integration, there are virtual field trips where you could visit national parks or museums. There are collaborative games, such as the ones I mentioned on the previous slide. There are morning warm-ups, so you can ask them and they could put them on a collaboration board so everyone could see different answers. There are full lessons that you can make, or you can use the pre-made ones. There's exit tickets for right before when students are leaving. You can ask a quick question about the day. Question polls, so this just asks a student a certain question, you could see who's answering what, and then quizzes to see where your students are falling. Next, if we head over onto Nearpod, you can see this is the home screen. So this is over where you can see all of your lessons that you've already made. So I played around with a few lessons, so these are some that I already made. And then if you click the top left corner, those three lines, there are My Library, Create a New Lesson, Reports, Subplans, Nearpod Library, and Help and Support. So if you go on over to reports, this is where you will see students' grades and what they got right, what they got wrong, and it compares your students' performance so you could see what you need to work on. There are sub plans, so this is actually super cool. It will send your sub the plans. You just click create new sub plan, and then you put why you're out that day and then the lesson that you want them to teach. Then if you head over to Nearpod Library, this is where you'll find all of those pre-made lessons. So they have it on basically anything you could think of, and you could search it too if you have a topic that they're not showing. You click the grade you want, you could click the subject you want, and then you can also click the content type. So there's videos, activities, and lessons. And then you could also click publisher if you have anyone that you like. So for this one, I chose Groundhog Day, and there's all different ones you could choose from grade levels K-2, 3-5, and then another one 3-5. So for this, I just chose to preview the K-2 Groundhog Day lesson. So as you can see, you could preview what's going on. They have today's lesson, guided questions, and then exploring. And then if you want to add it to your library, you can, or right from this, you can do live participation or the student-paced lessons, and you could just teach it right away. If you click the add to library, that's when you are able to edit your lesson. So I just clicked on this, and it brought me to the pre-made lesson, and this is where you can edit out anything. This is also where you can add questions with AI. So I just typed in Groundhog's Day for kindergarten, and after that it will create a bunch of questions that you can add in. You can also choose if you want standard, multiple choice, or if you want to do the time to climb quiz game. And then once those questions are made, you just click when you want to add them. And then this is also where you can preview the lesson that you've made and just click through to make sure that you like all the information. And then once you do that, you click Get Started, and that's when you can teach your lesson. Thank you.